Welcome to the Morning Track Power Hour. I am Dr. Andrew Scaff. He is Dr. Michael Worman, Esquire. On today's show, we'll be talking about the recent Royals offensive surge and from the team and from one very unexpected member of the team. We'll also be talking about a little bit of off-season NFL news. It's not really NFL related, but we will begin today with the 2026 World Cup. Once again, we're now ready to start the quarterfinal round. The round of 16 saw the exit of all of the host nations, though, Mike. Now that the U.S., Canada, and Mexico have all been eliminated, what does that do to you for your interest in the tournament? Like, does that not affect it at all, or are you kind of like checking out now that all these teams are out that were closest to us geographically?
It affects my interest, I guess, slightly. I would like the U.S. to be still in it. I'm not as interested in Canada and Mexico, but it would have been nice to have the U.S. Be in the quarterfinals, but they were, of course, knocked out by Belgium 4-1 on Monday night, and um, so yeah, all three of the CONCACAF hosts were out in the round of 16. Canada lost to Morocco 3-0, and England beat Mexico at the Estadio Azteca 3-2. So yeah, each of the CONCACAF host nations bowed out in the round of 16. So I guess they made the last 16, which is good, but it seems like that's what is par for the course, at least for Mexico and the United States. They seem to always make the round of 16. Making it past that round is difficult, and
Yeah,
Mexico
surviving
has.
the group stage, getting
Mhm.
into this phase at least.
I
But
think Mexico hasn't made the quarterfinals. I think I saw since 1986 was the last time when they hosted. I think 1970 they also made the quarterfinals. The only times they've made the quarterfinals has been when they hosted the World Cup. Um, and the United States, of course, made the World Cup quarterfinals in 2002 when it was in Korea and Japan. But they haven't made it since they've been knocked out of the round of 16. I think five out of the last six World Cups or something like that. And this time by Belgium after a little bit of controversy, maybe more than a little bit of controversy involving um,
multiple
Folarin
controversies.
Balogun's red card that he received against Bosnia and Herzegovina. That may have been a little bit of a iffy red card, and maybe went against some FIFA protocols and how it was decided. Looking at slow motion replays or still photos without looking really at real time um, footage for the referee and the VAR, the video assisted review. And then, of course, the big story in between the Bosnia game and the Belgium game was that Balogun's red card was his suspension for the next game was suspended by FIFA, supposedly after some strong-armed tactics from President Trump, perhaps, and
Potentially,
he called.
allegedly.
Yeah, the United States, some top-ranking officials in the United States government allegedly contacted FIFA officials, and then FIFA used one of their bylaws to suspend the suspension uh,
Yes.
of Balogun. And so Balogun ended up playing against Belgium. Belgium was very upset about this, and it didn't. Maybe that's why they won so convincingly over the U.S. 4-1. Uh, it was 2-1 at half, and then the USA allowed one really bad goal for the third goal, and then the goal at the end. So had that third goal not scored, maybe things would have been a little different. But the U.S. looked kind of outclassed most of the game against Belgium to me.
Yeah.
Belgium almost was eliminated in the round of 32 by Senegal. They were down 2-0 with about 10 minutes left in the game, and then they t won that game in extra time before penalty kicks. So that was maybe they staved off elimination there, and maybe that kind of inspired them to go on and
Yeah.
really um, take it to the United States uh, in the round of 16 game.
Yeah, those can go kind of one of two ways, right? Like that was all they had, and then they would come out maybe kind of flat because they, spent everything to get to the comeback to survive, or they use it as inspiration and come out not flat and play really well. And it looked like it was the second one.
Yeah, yeah, that was the case for sure. They came out and played really well. They got even after the United States tied it 1-1 with Malik Tillman's Malik Tillman his free kick went in.
Mhm.
That was the second free kick goal that he scored in the tournament. I think it was the first time since like 1982 that somebody's scored on two free kicks in the World Cup. Um, he scored against Bosnia for one of the goals, and then he scored in this one against uh, Belgium that kind of ricocheted off one of the Belgian uh, defenders in the wall, so it kind of made Thibaut Courtois a bit the Belgian goalkeeper unable to handle that one. But that was the only goal that the Belgians allowed, and the United States looked not so good against Belgium. It was probably one of their worst games they played in the last year or two, probably. And they just didn't have it. Pulisic was kind of he got injured, but he was also kind of uh, iffy looking much of the game. Um, a lot of the other players didn't look so great either. So it was the defense was not strong. Um, and yeah,
Yeah,
it just was.
they couldn't seem to get anything like really going offensively. They like controlled the ball a lot, but they just sort of like just back and forth passing like around the outside. They never
They
really
didn't really do. Yeah, they didn't have
got
any
much going. Yeah.
penetration, or they didn't really do a whole lot. Yeah, of yeah, it looked very different from the Paraguay game, the first game, where they looked really good. So maybe it's either, I think partly it's because Belgium is a really good team, even though they may have missed their peak from a few years ago when Kevin De Bruyne and Eden Hazard and Lukaku were younger, and they had some more so there's sort of golden generation as they called it was threatened was thought maybe that they could even challenge to win the World Cup. I think they still have the talent to go pretty far in this tournament, and I wouldn't be surprised if they beat Spain in the quarterfinals. um, and they even have the talent to make it look good against France probably if they place them in the semifinals. So yeah, Belgium looked really. I thought they looked really strong in the game against the United States. I think they really came to play. I think they were angered. They were kind of energized by their victory over Senegal, but then also angered by the decision to allow Balogun back in. So I think that maybe just led them to be sort of a buzzsaw for the United States. But um,
Well, and the Balogun decision was kind of late too. Really, like it was like they
yeah, it
had
was on Sunday. It
basically
was
two full
Sunday
days to make the
afternoon.
decision, and they waited to the very end to
Yeah, this is
like
the day
vote everyone
before
out.
Sunday afternoon. I think they decided. Yeah, I don't know. It was a weird situation. I think it would maybe been the right decision, but it was also had some sort of weird shadiness. And FIFA is not necessarily known as the organization that's above board when it comes to corruption. So it's also one of those things where, well, maybe this is where it pays off in some ways to have a president like Donald Trump, to get to grease the wheels and get a few things done in your advantage. If you're gonna have a kind of maybe a president who's has that kind of reputation, at least something got done. Uh,
Ugh,
for you.
man, I don't know. I mean, it makes everything look really bad though, because it's like there were more or less two scenarios that happened there. It's if the U.S. wins, then it's like, well, it's because they had connections and they had made a corrupt organization make a corrupt decision and gave the U.S. advantage they didn't deserve. Or if they lose and look bad, then it looks like they're just not very good, right? So
Yeah. Uh,
I don't think the U.S. looks good either winning or losing in that scenario. It's just it's not a good look in general. It's just
yeah, I think the right
good.
decision may have been made at the end because I don't think it was a deserving red card, but yeah,
But
there's some
if FIFA was going to make the right decision, you would have hoped that they would have just made the decision like immediately, though, right? And not without this like weird delay, and then knowing that there was a conversation or at least a
Mhm.
phone call that was made.
Yeah.
Because that looks like corruption. That's what corruption looks like.
Yeah. Egypt. Did you hear about the Egypt? You saw the Egypt Argentina game today, or any of that game?
I saw a part of it. I got the end of it.
One of the Egyptian
I,
players accused FIFA of rigging the game for Argentina. Argentina was losing 2-0, just similar, very similar to the Senegal Belgium game. Argentina was losing 2-0 in the last minutes of the game, and then they came back and won 3-2 as well. Egypt had a goal overturned by VAR that seemed a little iffy, and then Argentina had a goal that was allowed to stand because VAR was not used in a similar situation. So
uh,
uh, it was so Egypt was a little bit upset. And one of the Egyptian players said that the FIFA had rigged uh, that it so Argentina would win. But yeah, so we have the um, quarterfinals all set up now. Six European teams, one team from Africa, Morocco, one team from South America, Argentina, uh,
the
and
defending
that's
champ.
the defending champions. Yeah, so it was France against Morocco, Belgium against Spain, Norway, maybe a little bit of a surprise winner over Brazil, uh, with Erling Haaland's two goals that he scored against Brazil, against England, Norway against England, and then Argentina against Switzerland, who maybe is a bit of an upset against Colombia, but that was a pretty boring 0-0 tie that went to penalty kick shootout. So kind of coin flip who's going to win that game. Um, the a Swiss player whose last name was Vargas defeated in the final penalty kick, got it past the Colombian goalkeeper whose last name was also Vargas to
Yes.
when so I was thinking of the Seinfeld episode where do you remember Vargas? He was the he was the Bizarro Newman in
Oh
the
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yes,
or
yes,
Vargas. Uh, that Kevin, Eugene, and Feldman knew
yes.
Vargas. But yeah, there are two Vargases that were involved in that play. But the Swiss Vargas defeated the Colombian Vargas um, in the to win on penalty kicks. But yeah, it was a so that was an exciting finish. But yeah, the game that happened while I was at work was the most exciting one. That was the Argentina Egypt game. Of course, I didn't get a chance to see that one. But yeah, that was like the 1 o'clock Eastern time game. Then there's the 5 o'clock Eastern time game. That was the Switzerland Colombia game. They should have switched those two because that would have been a more.
Well, it seems weird that they're playing this in the Western Hemisphere, but the times were played for like European
Yeah,
schedules, though, right?
and they hadn't been all the other days either. So I don't know why they did this game like that.
I
This
don't
day,
know.
like
No, I don't know. Yeah,
because they had
it
been
made
playing a lot of league games.
it made sense when they were playing like three games in a day, and then so
Mhm.
there's like an afternoon game, like a late afternoon game, and then an evening game, or an afternoon, an early evening game, and then a late evening game.
Yeah, I don't
But
know. Yeah, it's been a kind of interesting schedule,
yeah,
and Next, the quarterfinal schedule um, is going to be, yeah, the games are going to be at July 9th, which is Thursday,
Thursday.
at 4 p.m. Eastern, France, Morocco. July 10th, Friday, 3 p.m. Eastern, Spain, Belgium. And
4
then,
4 p.m. Eastern in Boston,
yeah, 4 p.m. Eastern in Boston,
which
Spain,
is
Belgium.
actually in Boston though, not like yeah.
Yeah, yeah, Spain, Belgium. I'm not sure where that game's going to be played, but it's 3 p.m. Eastern. And then Norway, England, 5 p.m. Eastern on July
That's
11th.
in San Francisco.
And then Argentina,
So it's a noon game on the West Coast where it's being played.
Spain, Belgium.
Yeah.
Okay, that's weird. It makes sense. I guess they want it for European audiences, but then they're playing two games on uh,
Saturday.
Saturday, and both of those games are later than either of those. The first game starts later than the lone game of the previous two nights. It starts at 5, and there's a 5 o'clock and a 9 o'clock Eastern, which doesn't make I don't that doesn't make any sense to me. Those times.
No, it doesn't make sense at all. And the 4 p.m. Central games, the 5 p.m. Eastern, is in the Eastern time zone in Miami. And then
Mhm.
the night game, the 8 p.m. Central, 9 p.m. Eastern, is in Kansas City. That's the Kansas
Yeah,
City
the
Roosters
Argentina
game.
Switzerland games in Kansas City. Yeah. Um, Argentina making it back to Kansas City. They already had one game against uh,
Yes.
who did they play against Kansas? It wasn't Austria. It was somebody else. I mean, it was Austria. Uh, it was I can't remember Algeria. No, I think it was in Algeria against Algeria maybe.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Uh, and that was Messi's hat trick. So maybe he'll come back and score another hat trick. But yeah,
Yeah,
it's
that was
been an
that was
interesting,
Algeria.
um, interesting game. Right, and there's a race for the golden boot. Uh, Mbappe from France, Holland from Norway, and Messi from Argentina each have 7 goals. And Harry Kane
Kane's
has
close
six
too,
goals.
right? Yeah.
Yeah. So they're all up.
Hotly contested
Yeah.
by all teams that are still alive.
Hmm.
You know, none of those guys are out. Yeah, so it really has been a tournament of like the stars scoring like pretty consistently through the
Yes.
rounds so far. You know, a lot of times the stars that people tune in to check out aren't the ones that make the big plays though in these kind of tournaments, but it really has been for this one.
Yeah. Yeah. And yeah, it's been yeah, they've had a lot of yeah, big performances from the big name stars. Yeah, it's been quite a World Cup so far. And I'm interested in seeing how it turns out. Yeah, I think probably we have maybe three. Would you say three surprise quarterfinalists? If you say, I don't know if people thought Norway, Switzerland, or maybe Morocco. Those are probably the three uh,
Yeah,
surprise-ish quarterfinalists. Uh,
Norway looked pretty good though. Actually, I didn't
yeah,
like they.
Norway yeah, they look really good because they have like
Yeah,
one of the best. They have the best goal scorer probably on the planet, and
that makes a big difference in games that are contested by usually
yeah.
a low number of goals, right?
Uh-huh.
So they just have to keep it within. The defense has to just be good enough to only allow one, maybe two goals, and they've got a chance then, right?
Yeah, Argentina's been pretty reliant on Messi. So as a fairly aging Messi, 30, I think he's 38, 39, something like that. Um, he scored most of the goals against for Argentina. He actually missed a penalty kick in the game against Egypt. I think he's taken 8 penalty kicks in the World Cup. He's missed 4 of them.
Wow,
Uh, so that he could have had a lot more goals. He's got the record of 21 goals now in the tournament, two
he would
ahead of
have.
two ahead of
all
two
goals.
ahead of Mbappe, who has 19 already. So Mbappe will probably surpass. He's got at least two World Cups left in him, I would guess. Um,
Possibly could surpass him in this tournament, but
yeah.
he's likely to play more than
Mhm.
one more tournament, right?
Yeah,
At least one more.
at least one more. I would say two or three, maybe even. He's only 20. How old did we say Mbappe was?
I think 28, maybe. I think that's what we said last time.
20, he's 27. He'll be 28 in December.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, that's right. We thought maybe he would be because we thought the next World Cup might be later in the year too, right? So he might want that one be like one of the winter.
Well, not next one, but the one after
Not
that
next one.
because Saudi
Two.
Arabia.
Okay.
The next one is going to be primarily in Spain,
Oh, that's yeah. That's in yeah, like
Portugal,
Western Europe. Yeah.
Morocco, with a couple of games maybe in South America as well. Um,
Well, so we are in the quarterfinal phase now. We've got the favorites for the next games are probably who you'd expect them to be: France, Spain, uh, England as a narrow favorite, and Argentina. Do you think it's going to be pretty chalky in the quarterfinal round, or do you expect to see at least one upset, Mike?
I think there's going to be at least one upset. I would say Norway has a very good split shot of beating England. I think um, I think Belgium has a good shot of beating Spain, actually, the way Belgium played against the United States.
Yeah,
And I could also see Argentina's luck running out. Switzerland doesn't score very many goals, but they could if they held Argentina to zero, could win on penalty kicks, something like that. The one I don't see is France losing to Morocco. I don't see that happening, just because I think there's a lot of different ways that France can win a game. They can win ugly. They can also score a bunch of goals, and I think Morocco will try to probably play with France, but a lot of the Moroccan players are probably French origin as well. So there might be some uh, heated rivalry, uh, bad blood kind of situation. But yeah, so I don't. Yeah, it's hard. But I think France is the most likely of the favorites to win, is what I would guess.
yeah, yeah.
Um,
That makes sense.
Especially I think after
And
they were.
well, and France has just played absurdly well, like in basically every game. They haven't had like a
Well,
kind of an off
they
game.
were held down by Paraguay in the Paraguay game. They only scored one goal on a penalty kick. It's because Paraguay was really mucking it up and playing a very physical, maybe not tactically score oriented game. I think just trying to get it to penalty kicks and hopefully win those. So if Morocco does that, maybe they have a chance. But I hope the game opens up and they play well. But yeah, Belgium really, I haven't seen a team make the United States look that bad in a long time. So Belgium maybe this is a little bit of a yeah. Maybe they can upset Spain. I think they're ranked one of the top 8 teams in FIFA already. So I think uh, so they're considered to be a very good team, but they hadn't put it all together in a tournament uh, before. So that's yeah. Um, any of this
Belgium is eighth right now in the
FIFA rank?
rankings. Spain is three.
Yeah, and Spain hasn't looked that impressive in a lot of their games this go around. They've won, but they only beat it was only 1-0 against Portugal. They tied Cape Verde early on, and so it's been they haven't had a great offensive showing, and it seems like Belgium can score goals um, pretty well. So they could get, I think a couple goals here or there could make Spain put Spain in trouble.
Yeah, Cape Verde, a country this like that population is like a quarter of KC metro area population,
Hmm.
which seems crazy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Would do you think a team consisting of all players from the Kansas City area, how do you think they would fare in a World Cup game?
If they're all from Kansas City?
Yeah,
No,
just a
Curacao.
quarter of Kansas City, actually.
Yeah,
Not even the
Curacao.
whole city.
Well, like Curacao had even smaller population, I believe, than um, Cape Verde. So all you need, if
Yeah,
you get one, a good goalie, you can stay in games. You have one or two good players. Kind of like Norway's population is not very big.
yeah,
They happen to have, Holland and a couple of other really good players that are Odegaard and a couple others that are really high level European talents. So yeah, you only need a little bit in soccer to make it. So
right.
Messi, it seems like right now Messi's carrying Argentina. I don't know how good the rest of Argentina uh, is. It seemed like maybe Portugal was better off without Ronaldo playing recently than with Ronaldo, but uh, Portugal's not a very big country either.
Yeah,
Bosnia, Croatia, neither of those countries have a ton of people either. And they've uh,
yeah,
so you don't uh, Haiti, Qatar, those very small countries as well have qualified.
yeah.
So I don't.
Just generally, you think that like it takes a certain population size to have enough like elite athletes to
That's one
be
reason why
competitive with other countries in a similar situation.
it's one reason why Brazil was uh, has won the most World Cups because it is both it has more of a population size than any of the European um, or South American rivals of Brazil. Brazil's got more than 200 million people, not quite as big
Yeah,
as the U.S., but it's bigger, maybe twice as big as Germany or France.
yeah.
So it's
Well, it's
got
similar size population wise to the U.S., but soccer is their number one sport. It's not our number one sport, so
no,
like you'd
yeah,
expect them to be probably
yeah,
better
but
at it than
yes, if
us.
it was USA, if it was the number one sport, USA would guess would be the top country just because of the sheer numbers of people. I guess other than we have China and India or whatever, but those are for one reason or another, China and India haven't produced really top soccer teams. India, I think cricket is a bigger sport than uh, soccer is, but yeah, it's a
Yeah,
little. You would think that India would have a pretty good team and maybe um, China as well, but they haven't just because they have such a huge population to draw from, but
right.
um, hasn't been hasn't been the case.
They do like China does spend time and effort on like their basketball program, I guess, and their Olympics programs.
Hmm.
But yeah, not so much in the team sports though, right? Like other team sports besides basketball, I guess, right?
Yeah, baseball.
That we hear about at least.
You don't hear about China and baseball really. Even the other Asian, South Korea, Japan, both very good baseball playing countries as well.
Right.
Both good at soccer too. They usually qualify for the World Cup. China, South Korea, and Japan.
Hmm.
Um, both, yeah. Neither one made it out past the round of 32 this time. South Korea didn't even make the 32. They were knocked out in the knockout stage, but which
Yeah.
was a little surprising. But yeah, it's interesting what countries do well and what countries don't, and even countries that are very small, like Belgium, uh, Netherlands, can really uh, do very, very well in these tournaments.
Well,
Um,
it doesn't follow strictly the population theory,
it's like you just need a certain, I think maybe a certain size population, and then um,
but yeah, there's a threshold of some kind, right, to like make it valid,
yeah,
and then it's something like. But there are methodologies that have done well in the World Cup so far in predicting outcomes. You've done a number of different brackets with different methodologies, and turns out the one that's doing the best so far
yeah, the FIFA rankings
is yes, the just the FIFA rankings. Yeah,
is yeah, if I
so
just
those rankings must be fairly accurate though. That must be better than like the NCAA rankings in basketball and football, I suppose, right?
well, at least there have been maybe there've been fewer upsets, and so the FIFA rankings have held steady.
Well, they're and the FIFA rankings aren't based on like voters though either. Like
No,
the AP polls for
yeah, but they're like
college
Sagarin.
sports.
We have like Sagarin ratings or the I guess we haven't had Sagarin ratings the last couple of years, but the Ken Pomeroy rankings or net rankings or whatever those are uh,
Yeah,
computerized, and those do usually do pretty well for the NCAA tournament too.
yeah. I mean, some of the early computer rankings were still like they just incorporated the polls though, right? That was the early version of it, and now they're some of the newer versions are more about like power indexes and stuff like that. I don't necessarily care about the polls, but like how they actually perform and who they perform against. That factors into
Hmm.
those. I think most of the FIFA rankings are made up by like international competitions, so it's like points are awarded based on who they've played and when they
Yeah,
played them and stuff like that.
yeah, yeah. It's similar to the net rankings or the
Like Wimbledon, like tennis rankings, stuff like that.
yeah, Pomeroy or yeah, PJ Tour rankings or things like that. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, yeah, so we have uh World Cup quarterfinals to look forward to. By next week, we will know not only the uh we'll know not only who are the semifinalists,
Oh
but
yeah. Well,
we will have the first semifinal game will be uh on Tuesday of next week. Um, and then Wednesday of next week. So by the time next week's airs, we will have the final uh we'll have the finalists decided as well as the third place game determined within a week. So it'll
yeah.
go
Maybe we'll have to do like a weekend half episode or something just to do the catch up, so we know what happened in between. Yeah,
maybe
maybe we should have done that last weekend. Yeah,
maybe
between the Bosnia and Belgium games for the U.S.
a mini episode.
Yeah, like an addendum.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so the first quarterfinal will be on Tuesday afternoon, even so. Like, but when we're recording our episode, we'll already know what happened in the
The
first semi,
some yeah,
and then the second semi would be the following afternoon.
yeah. And they're both on at 3 p.m. uh Eastern
Yeah, and
on the
Dallas on Tuesday and Atlanta on Wednesday.
and then the final is at 3 p.m. on the 19th, which
Sunday?
is that a Sunday?
Yeah. So yeah, 2 p.m. Central. So that's like 8 p.m. in Europe.
Yeah. Yeah, so we have all that to look forward to over the next week. Any uh, other foot? We're talking about football, but we can talk about NFL football news. There hasn't been a whole lot other than Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift got married on July 3rd on Friday, July 3rd, at Madison Square Garden with a lot of celebrity, NFL, Hollywood music guests as well that were at the wedding. Were you invited to the nuptials, Dr. Scaff, being a
I
huge
was not. How about you? Were you invited?
was not Charles
You're
Bar
physically closer there. You could have just
I know.
popped up
I guess
to New
just
York
popped up.
tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Charles Barkley was invited, but he did not show up. I saw that. He was one of the few to turn down an invitation to the wedding, which included, I think, Brad Pitt and Tom Cruise and um, Paul McCartney, uh, big celebrities like that, and also a lot of Chiefs player, Patrick Mahomes, and a lot of the former Chiefs players, uh, and other tight ends from other uh, teams from the tight end university that Travis helps run the tight end summits that they have, and so the other, I think, a thousand guests. I think probably most of them were celebrities, from what it sounds like.
Well, they put one celebrity to work even at two, too, right? Wasn't that the
Yeah,
case?
Adam Sandler was the officiant at the ceremony. Uh, and he, of course, was in Happy Gilmore 2 that Travis Kelce had a cameo appearance in. Did you see Happy Gilmore 2?
I did not know. I thought I've seen the first one many, many times, but
It's
not
on
the second one.
Netflix. You could watch it. It's not great, but it's rewatching Happy Gilmore, the first one, it's also not as funny as it used to be. Uh, but since we're not 15-year-old high school students anymore, it's not quite as probably good a movie, but it was okay, but not so great.
I'm sure
And
certain jokes would still land, but
yeah,
maybe not all of them.
yeah.
He shouldn't have been standing there, Mike. There are certain lines that have to be said like on the golf course every time though because of that movie.
Yeah, I don't golf, so yeah, you still do you still play golf
I haven't golfed in a while now, but I'm trying to get back into it. So I'd like to go again here soon.
in the summer?
Yeah, I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try to get back out again.
Hit the links.
Yeah, but yeah. It's been a while. It's been several years since I played. Yeah, but you have to tell the ball at some point. Ask it why it's too good for its home or stuff like that, right?
I suppose so. Yeah.
Those lines have to be used. It's just how part of golf now. Yeah,
Find
too
Shooter,
good for
yeah.
your home.
Shooter McGavin was in uh the sequel as well.
Of course,
But
you'd have to be. Yeah,
yeah, it was a little. I can't. It had sort of a um. Yeah, it was kind of it was okay. It had some real golfers, celebrities in it. Uh,
yeah.
so I think the main villain was, I believe I remember correctly, it was Haley Joel Osment was the main villain in
As himself, or
as a golfer, as a rival
okay,
golf
yeah.
of uh, Happy Gilmore's. Of
His
course,
future nemesis from where we've seen him last.
yeah. The guy, um, his number his crazed fan, played by Kirk Flaherty. Was it Kirk Flaherty? Was that his name? Um, um, uh, Not Kirk Flaherty. Joe Flaherty.
The same guy from the first one.
He died. Joe Flaherty died before, I think,
That's what
the
I'd be surprised if he was still around. I didn't know.
right before the movie came out. So I don't think he wasn't in it. But the guy wanted to meet him at the Sizzler, uh, and of course Jaws from
Right.
uh, James Bond had also passed away, but I think he had a son or something that was in the supposedly in the movie. I can't.
Hmm.
It wasn't that I didn't pay that close attention when I was watching. It's probably been several. It's been several months since I've seen it, but
Yeah.
uh, but
It,
yeah,
it has been like a year since that came out, I think. So
like Travis Kelce was in he was a cameo had a cameo appearance as I think a waiter uh, that was nefarious in some way, if I remember correctly. But yeah, so uh, I don't know. Yeah, I didn't go to the wedding, but apparently it was a big deal. But yeah, there wasn't a lot, haven't been a lot of hasn't been a lot of stuff about it because I think everybody in attendance had to surrender their phones before they could go in. So there wasn't very much social media um, um, coverage of the wedding itself. So it's hard to say exactly all the people that were there, but it's a large number, and yeah, it was probably the celebrity event of the season, and the newlyweds are going to also attend. I read Juju Smith-Schuster's wedding coming up on July 11th, they'll go to Juju. I guess so. Probably Juju was at that wedding uh, too. So, but yeah, Juju, where did he end up this year?
I don't remember.
Has he signed anywhere yet?
I don't know.
Giants, son of the Giants.
Yeah.
With Matt Nagy as the new offensive coordinator of the Giants. But yeah, so I don't know. That's football news as we have it. Should we move on to baseball now? We have for once some good news coming out of the Royals camp. The Royals have scored 31 runs in the past 2 days, winning 15-1 over the Phillies and then 16-12 tonight over the Mets. And during those two games, going 10 for 10 in those, or at least for a stretch, at least going 10 for 10 in those two games, with an additional two hits in the previous Phillies game was uh, Royals sort of would you call him utility infielder
Super
or
utility everything, I guess, right? Because he's been playing
yeah,
outfield, infield, pitching even. Yeah.
yeah, Tyler Tolbert.
Tyler Tolbert.
Yeah, he had 12 consecutive hits and 12 consecutive plate appearances, which is a modern uh, major league record, tied to modern major league record. At least in the expansion era, the most of any player. Last person to get 12 to get on base, get 12 consecutive hits and 12 consecutive plate appearances was it Walt Dropo? Is that what it was
Right.
in
1952.
1952? So, uh,
They said it was actually the first player to go 5 for 5 in consecutive days since Roberto Clemente in 1970, which is another surprising name to be mentioned with, right? Of
yeah.
Tolbert, Tyler Tolbert, Roberto Clemente.
Well, Tolbert
You
ended
don't
up
think of
going
them names
he ended up going 5 for 6. Uh,
at the time, yeah.
He ended up going 5 for 6 because he ended up flying out his last at bat for the Royals. So he was unable to make it 13 straight plate appearances with a hit, but he had 12 straight plate appearances with a hit, which is like is a tied a record. And the Royals, I think, had 40 something hits, 41, 42 hits, which was their record for consecutive games and hits in two consecutive games. Uh,
Yes.
Not the record for most runs in two consecutive games. However, we read. They scored 16 and 15, so 31 runs in two games. They scored, was it 41 runs over two games in 2004?
Right.
Um, so, but the hit, I guess the hits were it as how somehow they didn't get as many hits in that 41.
Well, he probably drew some walks or something too, and
Yeah, they had
maybe in
11
there.
walks in tonight's game.
Yeah.
So, yeah, the Royals are still.
They're even with that many hits, like they still aren't that efficient at scoring. Like they probably could have had a lot more runs in the last two games. Seems surprising.
Yeah, the game before against they beat the Phillies 15-1. That was the first game I think in 30 years where they had scored in every they scored at least one run in each inning that they played. So that was I think in the first time that's happened in baseball for more than 10 years.
Yeah.
So the Royals are setting records, but they're still one of the worst teams in baseball by overall record. 38 and 54. Uh, Only the second worst record now in the American League. Uh,
Moving up.
Tied, moving up. Now beating the Mets tonight caused the Mets to go down to 38 and 54 as well. So the Mets have share that um, ignominious record with the Royals. The Rockies are 37 and 55. The Angels are 36 and 56. So Royals are 2 games clear of the worst record, but they're 8.5 games out of the wild card now. So I don't think they're going to be challenging for the playoffs this year. What do you think, Dr. Scaff? Think they can turn things around?
I mean, 8.5 isn't actually out of reach. It's just unlikely, but not by any means an impossibility. But I just don't expect them to compete because
They've
they just
won
make
three
so
in
many bad decisions and they have so many injuries. But if they can get performances like this out of Tolbert, if he hits like this the rest of the season, then I mean that'll turn some heads.
Yeah, he's hit. Yeah, he's hovering around 400 right now with those 12
Oh,
consecutive.
yes, because he was hitting 200 before the 4 games ago. Now he's at what 396.
Yes.
What a difference 12 for 12 can make. The quick way to
Mhm.
turn around your season, right?
Yes. Yeah, so he matched the record set by Chicago's Johnny Kling in 1902 and equaled by Walt Dropo in 1952. So,
Impressive. Yeah, and fully unexpected too, because Tolbert doesn't usually get a lot of playing time. If he
mhm.
if he does get playing time, you don't really expect to have him, you know, get 5 plate appearances.
Yeah,
And if he does get 5 plate appearances, you definitely do not expect him to get 5 hits. But
no,
not only did he get 12 hits in that stretch, Mike, he had 2 home runs as well. I don't even think he'd hit a home run before.
no, those were his first 2 home runs.
Yeah,
Uh,
so
the Mets scored 12 runs tonight, 16 to 12. The record I saw in one of this article I was just reading, uh, prior to this game, they were 201 when scoring 12 or more runs in a game. They'd only lost one game ever when they scored 12 runs. And now they've lost 2 games thanks to the Royals when they scored 12 uh,
oh, yeah.
runs. But
Yeah, like just a week ago we were talking about, the Royals being on the wrong side of these like huge scoring games, and it's nice to have it balance back out just a week later
yes.
because they'd given up 35 runs in a 2 game stretch, and now they've come back and scored 31 games in 2 games straight. It's just bizarre, like how fast this team turns, and
Hmm.
uh, yeah, surprising. Because I think the lineups they set the last couple of days have not been very good. It seems like the players overcoming the lineups that were set for them, which is nice to see. And it's probably their best chance at winning is if they do stuff like this. It's going to have to come from like unexpected players and
Yeah.
odd spots in the lineup.
Yeah, it was, but it wasn't all good news for the Royals in the first inning. You discussed earlier, the Royals had 3 errors on one play that led to 3 runs scored by the Mets in the first inning because there were 3 throwing errors made on a single play that allowed what should have been a routine ground out to the pitcher
To the pitcher.
became a uh, little league style home run, I believe. So that was not so good. But
No.
um, yeah, so even when the Royals do well, they still have some bad things happen. But yeah, it seems like the Royals are starting to turn things around, even though the pitching staff still is especially has been decimated by injuries, as had the lineup even because uh, Pasquantino is still out of the lineup, as is Garcia, right? He's
Yeah, Michael Garcia is still out.
still out, which has given people like Tolbert more chances to play. So if that hadn't happened, maybe Tolbert wouldn't set the major league record with 12 consecutive hits in his plate appearances. So, um, but yeah,
It was really crazy too, though. Like the last three hits he had in that stretch were all infield hits too. So like he's,
mhm.
I mean, some of that was fortunate,
Yeah.
but he did mix in two home runs in that as well. So that all of that is unexpected,
Hmm.
surprising, a pleasant surprise though.
Yeah. Every Royals player got at least one hit tonight when they had 19 hits. So
It's good to
that
see.
was uh anyway, yeah. So the Royals are trying to they're at least playing out the season. We haven't had the All-Star break yet. That's coming up in about a week. So we'll have that to look forward to. We have the MLB Draft coming up. We might do something for that. When's the draft?
I think it's the week of the All Star break.
It's Saturday, July 11th, Sunday, July 12th. So it's this weekend.
Oh, it is this weekend. Okay, yeah.
Well, I guess we won't have a special draft episode. Then we
It
might
won't be a
discuss
it won't be a
draft.
pre-draft episode. We may have to just do we may have to talk about it offline, or we can do that this weekend if we want to do the bonus portion like small episode or something. We can throw something together real quickly.
The Royals they have the number 6 overall selection and also the number 30 overall pick. Competitive balance picks. So they have top prospect according to AI Google search. Top prospects linked to the Royals and mock drafts include University of California, Santa Barbara right-handed pitcher Jackson Flora, left-handed prep pitcher Gio Rojas, high school outfielder Eric Booth, infielder Jacob Lombard are the names that are linked.
Well, they tended to go like high school arms, right?
Yeah,
College bats is what they've like tended to do historically. But yeah, it seems like they need a lot of pitching. That's been the depth issue this season. So that probably might influence their draft decision making. I think it'll be even more pitcher heavy than normal.
possibly. I don't know. It probably just depends on what falls to them. I think in baseball, it's probably best just to take the best player available because it takes so long for uh, players to develop. You get the occasional Caglione who plays very soon, but for the most part, especially if you're drafting high school players, it might take 4 or 5 years before they're in the majors. So you might just you don't know what your team's going to look like in that length of time. So uh, you can it's easy to move, especially position players are easy to switch positions mostly. Um,
Well, yeah, usually if you take a shortstop or a center fielder, those are just that most athletic players, and then they
they
can
could,
play other positions if necessary.
yeah.
Yeah. Or at least they can be converted to other positions if you give them enough time.
Hmm. And Catalan's played, he was first baseman mostly, but he's been playing a lot of right field for the Royals
Mhm.
because of uh he's played more first base lately because of um Pasquantino's injury. But
Yeah. But he played a lot of minor league baseball in the outfield
yeah, he
because
played
because they know Pasquantino is playing first, so there's no reason to unseat. Vinny to make room for Leon, right? So for Cags.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the corner outfield positions have been just a revolving door of not very good the last several years for Kansas City.
No, no, they need a
So
lot of
they don't have a lot of depth at those positions right now.
unless Tyler
But that,
Tolbert is going to be the new corner. He played right. I think he played right field tonight.
yeah, you don't expect him to play in right. You expect him to play in center or possibly an infield position, just based on just like size and general speed. They generally don't need a shortstop because they have Bobby Witt, so
Yeah.
you don't expect him to play on the infield.
Yeah,
Uh,
we'll see what ends up happening for the Royals. Should we have anything else to add, or should we wrap up this week's episode of the Power Hour?
I think it's time to wrap it up.
Yeah, we've had another exciting, fact-filled and fun-filled episode of the One Trick Power Hour. As always, I am Dr. Michael Werman. He is Dr. Andrew Scaff. We are the One Trick Power Hour. Please like and subscribe to our YouTube channel available on YouTube and or our podcast available on many different podcast delivery platforms. Apparently, our podcast is being downloaded at record rates lately around the world for last week's podcast. Anyway, maybe this week's podcast will be no different and be heard in places like Belarus, Australia,
Jeez.
Fiji is another popular download location. Uh, Maybe because we talked so much about the World Cup, our World Cup analysis is second to none here on the Power Hour. So you're always in for a treat if you tune in to that. But maybe it's also for our Royals baseball coverage, which is also
They're
second.
all around the world.
Uh, yes.
Our Royal baseball coverage.
And Chiefs and non-existent Chiefs football coverage basically this week, these past few weeks. Um, but yeah, so we appreciate your viewership, your listenership, and we hope that you continue to make the Morning Trek Power Hour a part of your listening evenings or weeks or however often you decide to uh, partake in a Power Hour broadcast podcast. Um, so, yeah, until next time, we'll be back next week with another exciting episode. Maybe even an interim episode discussing the World Cup. We'll decide what we'll do with that in Major League Baseball draft. But we'll be back next week talking about the results of World Cup quarterfinal and possibly semifinal action and whatever else comes across our plates when it comes to baseball and or football and other topics this week. So we'll have all that to look forward to next week. Another exciting episode, and we wish you the best of luck if you're making bets over this weekend. No matter as long as your bets do not your interests do not conflict with ours, and we haven't really made any bets so far this for this weekend yet, so we don't really uh, anticipate your betting conflicting too much with ours. Although we did kind of make our picks a little bit ago, talking about who we thought would win the quarterfinals in the World Cup. But um, yeah, so we have all that to look forward to next week, and until that time, uh, we here at the Power Hour will wish you a good day.